Actually, it's Pam.
I'm sorry. Well, Pan.
No, my name is Pam.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
I'm saying Pam. Yeah, I'm sorry. Who's this gentleman sitting behind you?
Hello, Ms. Lady. I'm Dale. I'm Brennan's stepbrother, and I think I might be able to help with the Pan-Pam dilemma.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Pam.
Pam, oh no.
Pam.
Panned.
With an
There's
M.
a D on the end.
There's no D. It's Pam.
It's like calm.
Here, it's
Except
P.
P-A-N-M.
M.
N.
Two M's.
M.
That was the confusion.
No, there's just one M.
What do you say we interview you?
All right. Yes, that's a sometimes useful exercise. Please put your hand down. Go ahead.
How much money do you make a year before taxes?
Okay, I'm actually not comfortable answering that.
Come on!
We're doing the interview now, not you.
Okay, here's a shot out of a cannon. Oprah, Barbara Walters, your wife. You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go!
I think we're done here. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, I needed someone to
Wait, shut your
work
mouth.
with-
Shut your mouth.
I think we've had enough.
Shut for
here.
1 second.
Shut your mouth.
I needed someone
Wait,
to
shut your
work
mouth.
with.
Shut your mouth.
I'm sorry? What did
You're
you
just
say?
coming off stupid.
I'm coming off as stupid. You're wearing tuxedos to a job that requires you to clean bathrooms. Please leave this office. We're done with this interview.
Do we get any sort of souvenir?
Get out of my office!
And away we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of All Up in Your Geek, the best hour of your week.
Welcome.
And with me, as always,
Money here, welcoming everybody back to the Goobliette.
I think I like the music better than the
actual Goobliette.
Yeah.
Well, we love the Goobliette here at All Up in Your Geek.
Well, I love the studio.
You mean the Goobliette?
What did you do, Lou?
I just wanted the music again.
You guys want to hear it a third time? I can keep going.
No, it's fine.
And this is your good friend, Flash Rodman. Thank you, new Mr. Snow Day, you son of a bitch. It's 1:15 at night because somebody couldn't do it one day and then they had to push it back another day.
I think you should cry about it.
Maybe I will.
Oh, the consequences. And this is Lou, a.k.a. Puerto Rican Judo. You're supposed to be ready. There we go.
I was going to play your old one, and then I was going to go, wait, give him a new one.
And with that, it is time to geek up.
Saddle up your horses.
Indeed. So, I may be late, but I come bearing gifts.
Oh, then all is forgiven.
That makes up for it.
And my gifts are late, too. So, let's start with Bob.
All right.
Okay. Oh.
Because Bob's got a little bit of a two-parter.
Oh, two.
And I couldn't find the tape dispenser, thanks to my kids, so I stapled them.
Nice.
That's awesome. Is it a double-sided dildo?
Not in that packaging.
No.
It dawned on me, Bob.
Yeah.
You were so thoughtful to get us both SmackDown versus Raw 2009. How are we going to play with you if you didn't have it?
It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's back. SmackDown versus Raw 2009.
Yeah. And then
I'm going to try not
wait,
to cut myself.
let me yeah, don't cut yourself. I wanted to get you guys something different.
All right.
Not that games aren't good enough, but I don't know what to get you guys. I mean, you have everything. So, it was very, very tough to come to this conclusion. But I think I did well. And,
Okay.
you know, you guys tell me what you think.
Well, the card is a home run.
Let's see.
Lou didn't get a card.
I didn't get a card? I did get a card.
So wait. So these are straight from the Ukraine.
fuck?
Delivered by Yeti hand.
Yeti?
Although I am disappointed you didn't make it out. I would have liked, a special greeting.
I got a Tatiana card.
You got Tatiana?
Wait.
I'm jealous.
These are handmade. There are 10 in existence. So only 8 other people will have the joys that you two are about to have.
Based on this card.
Bob, you got to show. Bob, you got to show.
Let me see the card. I'm not taking a picture of this one and posting this one.
You are.
Oh no.
Oh, you are. You will not.
I got a business card that has like
handmade from
dressed
Ukraine.
up dildos on it.
Oh.
I don't know what this woman does with her spare time.
Oh man. Well, there's a Batman one. I like the Batman one.
I didn't realize that. I hadn't even looked.
So Lou, let me tell you how long and hard I thought.
Judging by this, it looked that's exactly what you were thinking, long and hard. Dude,
Oh my god.
I wanted to get you guys something you'd love, so
I love it.
I got you. It's Yoda.
No, this is Baby
Bob,
Yoda.
For me, it would be. For you. Now, Bob,
Yes.
all those times, episode 8, episode 9, that you can now stick your dick in Star Wars.
Finally.
I'm gonna take a picture
You
of the
have
gift,
to.
and I'm gonna post that because this
So
is
they're
hysterical.
Ukrainian dick warmers.
Naturally.
Please don't tell me you guys already have one.
It is cold out there.
Yes.
This has to be the funniest shit that I've ever seen. I did not know
For the listeners, they are Yoda Ukrainian dick warmers.
Well, you know what it looks like, Bob?
Yeah.
It looks like. It looks like fucking Greedo.
Yeah.
From Star
I love
Wars.
how the eyes are all crooked.
But
That's
that's
like,
what
I
makes it look
thought it was like a crocodile, you know, like
It's Yoda, goddammit!
okay.
This is what was sitting across from Han Solo when he shot.
That's right.
Greedo shot first.
Green dick.
No. We can thank Bob for the idea here. Because I think Bob, one day in our text conversation, texted us a
That's
lightsaber.
right. I did. A lightsaber dick
lightsaber.
warmer.
And he was like, oh man, I wish I had one of these. Well, Bob, I'm sorry
Yes.
to tell you that the lightsaber is gone.
Sold out?
Gone. Sold out.
Bob is wearing.
But Yoda,
Bob is wearing his dick warmer around his neck
Of course.
because where else?
My good friend gave this to me. Why wouldn't I wear it? Well, thank you.
You're gonna get a text message of me using this gift.
Right.
I'll take it.
Oh man.
Definitely worth the wait.
Well, thank you very much. That is probably the most interesting gift I've ever received.
And the warmest?
Well, that remains to be seen. I'll let you know about that.
I'd love to fly to the Ukraine to watch Tatiana hand make her dick warmers with the babushka on.
Oh man.
Well, I hope I did you guys justice.
Yes. Thank you,
did.
sir.
Thank you very much. Well,
To many warm nights.
Yes.
speaking of dick warmers,
Yes.
right? Did you guys see this tweet from CM Punk?
No, I missed it.
Perfect segue.
Right.
Don't go into any of the Star Wars stuff we had planned. Take it right into CM Punk.
Oh man. So, excuse me. Apparently, there was a CM Punk tweet to The Miz. I got a kick out of it. So there was some type of, I guess The Miz made a guest appearance on the Fox show that WWE has backstage.
Okay.
And they were trying to compare Miz being there to CM Punk being there. And I think it was Renee Young who said that CM Punk's return was a bigger response or bigger ratings or whatever.
But how would they know that during the show? Like, how would they know what rating Miz is going to pull?
It's a.
He didn't bring his Star Wars dick warmer, did he?
No,
exactly.
he
That's
didn't.
what it was.
So she expected a low rating.
Yeah.
Understandable.
So the Miz made a response saying, "Oh, sorry, I didn't change your culture," which was, I guess, a shot at CM Punk for his whole thing about changing the culture or whatever.
Okay.
So this prompted probably the funniest fucking response that I've ever seen from anyone. Well, maybe not, but it's up there.
Okay.
So CM Punk tweets back to The Miz and says, "Go suck a bloody money-covered dick in Saudi Arabia, you fucking dork."
Dry fart, please.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
I thought it was funny.
I don't get it.
I mean, I guess because Saudi Arabia has blood money,
Mm-hmm.
so their dick would be covered in blood money.
Right, but where's the tie-in to The Miz?
He went to Saudi
He
Arabia.
went to Saudi Arabia to do the show over there.
So did how many other guys, though? It wasn't just him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he wasn't the highest paid performer.
CM Punk worked really hard on that joke, okay? He was up all night. He had his dick warmer on.
And again, this is the same guy who told Seth Rollins to stop tweeting because it's not doing him any favors, right?
Yeah.
Well.
Nailed it!
Yeah, right?
Well, they then tried to link it to some previous beef they had when Punk was there and him and The Miz did a spot on Miz TV.
Okay.
Where's the beef?
So I'm
around Bob's neck.
I'm assuming that this is now just, build up to a return. They were already talking about his return anyway. I don't know if he's doing it at the Rumble this month or before WrestleMania. I don't know.
Jeez, I don't know. Doesn't work for me.
No.
No. I've caught a couple of the 30-second, clips of him on the show since he's come back, and I don't know. Just doesn't really work for me. But then again, nothing they do anymore works for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hated The Miz, but you got to respect his work ethic.
I never hated The Miz.
I know you didn't. And we had that conversation many, many, many moons ago, and you were right and I was wrong. But that being said, does anyone have any desire to see these two jerk-offs go at it?
No.
I do know a guy who comes from a very highly sophisticated university, and when he explains things, he's got to dumb himself down. I don't know if you know this guy.
Because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try.
Now, him I'd watch all day.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't? Didn't you sent us a
Scott Steiner video?
That's
He
right.
made his epic return to NWA Power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power.
Internet velocity.
Yeah, right? And he's how old now?
95?
Right?
Still juiced up?
Yeah, right. I don't know. CM Punk never did it for me when he was around. So,
Yeah.
I like CM Punk.
you always did.
He's a good. He's good in the ring. He's good on the mic. He's not extraordinary.
No. I thought, I think that's a good assessment. I thought he was good at everything, but great at nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that assessment.
I thought he was fine.
Yeah.
He didn't have the look. He was a good wrestler, solid, but overrated.
Mm-hmm.
He was good on the mic, and next to all those animals, he looked like,
Right.
his IQ was 4,000.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think it had more to do with the company that was around him than
Right, but
him himself.
He certainly didn't stand out from some of the best talkers.
You don't think so? I think
no.
he did.
No,
Not really.
no.
At some point, like
I thought
when
he was fine.
I think when he started, to really come up, I thought it was interesting. It seemed like he had a different kind of take, but after a while, it just really sounded like whining.
Yeah, that's a great point. And he never had the right energy. He never had good energy. It was always just this very smug,
Oh,
holier
like
than
totally
thou.
smug.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, you're not that good.
Yeah,
And you're not that smart.
I thought that was part of the energy. I thought that's what made it so good.
But it wasn't. It was a drain.
Yeah. I felt the
didn't get
same.
it.
I felt the same. I felt like it was a drain. Like it brought me down. It didn't.
And it was just
Didn't
this,
really
this
pump me up.
incessant
Maybe-
whining and bitching. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not your guy, so I'm going to cause problems. And it's like,
Yeah, and because I'm the way I am, I'm not going to be on the WWE ice cream bar,
Yeah,
and I'm not going to have the merchandising that Cena has. It's
and
like,
I
shut
don't
the fuck
care,
up.
but I don't care what anybody thinks.
Yeah,
But
it's like, shut up.
Yeah, just the voice of the voiceless.
Yeah,
I thought that was the best part of it.
I thought he was. Go
I
ahead.
think that smug look on his face worked because it didn't matter whether they put him in the face position or in the heel position. It was always
But it didn't
he
work.
could go back and forth.
Yeah, but it didn't work because he's like 5'10", $175 soaking wet.
So is Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, but he can wrestle.
So can CM Punk.
Well, CM Punk's okay. He's not on Daniel Bryan's level.
Sure he is.
he botched that
right.
finisher. He botched that go to sleep finisher. That sucked. I hated that.
I wasn't a fan of the go to sleep either. I prefer he had the submission, the Anaconda device. I like the submission, but I don't think that it was him that was botching the move. I think the move itself needs to be done by someone taller.
Yeah,
and
that's a good
because he
point.
was doing it to people who were taller than him, it just didn't look right.
Because he's tiny.
Right.
I don't know.
But you can have a tiny guy. You just have to have the right move set. I don't think that was the right move.
Yeah, that's a good
for
point.
him.
I
Just
accept that.
They could have given that move to Rey Mysterio.
Sure.
It wouldn't have worked.
Right.
But I do believe, and I could be wrong on this, at this point I'm so far removed from the industry, I think it was his idea.
To use it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
It probably was.
Does
And
that
it
work?
worked, and it worked
tribute
To the guy in Japan,
the
yeah, and in
Japanese
Japan
guy.
they're all like 3 foot
That-
two,
right,
so
that
it
was what
works.
I'm saying.
He's giant.
Right? Yeah,
Right,
it
and
works great.
even in the Indies, he was, he
Fucking
was
Vader
big.
over there.
Yeah, right. Even in the
Kevin
Indies, he
Nash.
was bigger than most guys, so he could do it, and it looked all right.
You know, I just never got it with him. I don't hate the guy, you know what I mean? Like, he never did anything to me. I'm sure he's an awesome dude.
The only problem that I have, and I think I agree with you with, is the look. He didn't have the look.
He didn't have the look.
He
He
looked like a fucking short order chef.
Right,
Yeah.
right, but he didn't have the look.
short
He didn't
cook,
He
whatever.
didn't have the intensity. I thought he was fine as a wrestler.
No, I thought he had the
I
intensity.
didn't.
I thought he had the intensity, and I thought that the character was there. I just don't think the look was there. And yeah, with the people around him, there was no way.
It almost came off to me as like a fear. You know, like he didn't want to try and fail. So he was just laid back about everything. You know, that's just who I am. Joe Cool. You know, thank you, Bob. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. That's all.
All right.
You know, and you have how many guys that we've had since the 80s when I was watching? 1,000 guys? And he was just another one. Just another guy. And he sort of almost begun that move, the just another guy movement, you know, where it's like, I'm just going to come out on myself. I'm just Joe Cool, you know, because that's who I am. I'm a cool guy. Now you can see cool guy wrestle. And, you know, and it's just like, yeah, you're everyone else.
Yeah, I don't know if he
Yes,
came across as
everyone
cool
else.
guy to me, though.
He was a little-
He came across as too cool.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I
he's
mean.
too cool
like,
for school guy.
Like, just like,
You think so?
I think,
I don't know. I didn't get that.
I don't know, that whole emo goth thing, like,
Straight edge, whatever the fuck.
let's
he had.
just call a spade a spade. He was no Gangrel.
No, sir.
No, definitely not a Gangrel.
You know, he was fine. I don't give a shit that he's back. I don't need to see him wrestle again.
I think that if they would have done a return with him a few years ago, or maybe a shorter time after he left, that it might have been a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Even I'm like, okay, cool, he's coming back, but
right. You know, I give him credit. I give him credit for what he did. He went into, you know,
But hold on.
UFC and got his ass
but
beat.
hold on. Meh.
But no, but that has to be said. Like, he deserves
What?
credit for, at his age, venturing into a sport that he had no business being part of. Got his ass handed to him, not once, but twice.
Yeah.
So, give him some credit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
No,
I give him
yeah,
credit for
I
stepping
do.
in there
Yeah.
and
Sure.
you know, giving it a try. Sure.
But
that takes balls.
I would do it, too. I mean, I'm sure
I mean,
the
for the
payday
money.
was pretty nice.
Yeah, money helps.
You know, I'd get my ass
course.
beat.
Of course.
But, yeah, you know, I don't really care. Respectfully.
Yeah, I'm not.
I respect your
I thought-
tabling of the topic, but I don't really
I
give a
thought the
shit.
tweet was interesting because it seemed a little over the top. So
Maybe
I'm
they had some sort of little tiff, the two of them.
maybe.
You know,
I mean, that
little-
tweet was deleted
little
shortly
spat.
after, but
Maybe he was drunk.
no, he's straight edge.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Well, I find that tweet.
Drunk on Pepsi?
I find that tweet miserable.
And on that
You've
note,
been saving that one, Bob.
In my back pocket.
oh man, you know, I'm still on a Star Wars kick. So
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going to go with the segue from the gifts, but you somehow
no,
went
no,
to CM Punk.
no. I'm
I
still,
guess Dick.
And we're all sorry for it.
I'm still on the Star Wars kick, and
Okay.
I'm watching the Clone Wars cartoon series.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking good.
And when does that one take place?
That takes place between episode 2 and 3.
Yes.
Which was
Derek's like,
no,
hey,
that was
what the fuck
that
you're
was the second and third of the second trilogy, right?
The
Right,
second and
the
third
prequel
of the
trilogy,
second
yes.
Okay.
trilogy, right? Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good, man. Like the first episode or two.
Yeah, it takes
It
a little
wasn't terrible. It took
right,
some time to pick up.
to get going, for sure.
But once it picked up, man, I was like, wow, full throttle.
Yes.
They introduced some really cool characters. I think I was telling Bob the introduction of the bounty hunter character.
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane was pretty cool. He
Okay.
looks like, think of like a, remember Abe from Oddworld?
Yes.
That kind of look,
Okay.
except taller with a cowboy hat and
course.
blue.
He's blue.
When I played Oddworld, I was like, this guy's missing a cowboy hat.
It's really cool. And I'm only about halfway through second season now, but I will say that
How many
as of
seasons is it?
6
Oh,
that's
God.
available on Disney Plus right now. And they're working.
That's
releasing
coming out
7,
next.
right?
So the final 7th season is coming out soon. Yep.
So, just in the, I guess, one season and half a second season that I've seen, what I would like to see, just in brainstorming, because we were talking about what now when we were talking about Rise of Skywalker. What now? What's next?
Okay.
Right? I think.
Hopefully nothing.
Well, it's not going to be nothing, but I think the openness of the universe is where the draw of Star Wars for me is.
Okay.
So they can really do anything. I think that I still say that they have been too entrenched in the characters in this main trilogy, and if they move away from that,
Yeah.
they can do really good things.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
they keep going the route of bounty hunters and they keep going the route of maybe with the Mandalorian show, I would love if they did an Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, they
movie
are
or series,
they are
which
doing
I
this
know
series.
they're working on. I would even take a Jedi Order, or I'm sorry, a Jedi Temple or a Jedi Council rather movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are so many just in the Clone Wars different Jedis that are on the council that they could do movies about those and how they came to become Jedis, and then do like a Jedi Council movie, like they did Iron Man and they did Thor, and then they did Hulk,
right.
and then then they did the Avengers. Like, I would like to see something like that. Whether or not they're going to do it, I doubt it, but I think that would be cool.
That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess I kind of like the finality of things. I don't like this open-ended, could go anywhere at any time with any other characters, and I don't know. It just seems cheap to me. Like, there are
I don't know.
boundaries. Like, you have nothing to...
Well, no, but that's I think I have to agree with Lou on that. I think that's what makes Star Wars so fun and also have its longevity, is that the world can be so vast, and it has a potential for many different stories, many different characters, and,
Right.
and that's really the beauty of it, and that's really where the fun of it is exploring all those
Okay.
different things.
All right. Well, I mean, clearly I don't get it. And I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
and I think that kind of goes for all the superheroes, where it's just like, I don't even know who's who and what universe they're part of, and I don't know. I
Well,
just never cared,
that's just not your thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I don't think it's no wonder that I don't get what you guys are putting down.
There's so much that they can do that they've already done with the books and some
Yeah.
of the other series that I think now is the time. Actually, it passed, but
Yeah, a little,
it's
yeah.
definitely the time to get away from
Yeah,
this
and I think
main
that's,
trilogy.
Yeah, and that's what I think they're going to do, with, focusing on, like, the Skywalker line or whatever. But now we can, we finished that, quote unquote, finish that.
Right.
So now, we can explore other storylines, other characters, see other things. And for me, that's where I'm excited. I would like to see some other aspects of Star Wars that we've really never gotten a chance to dive deep into.
Okay.
Maybe like, how did the Jedi get founded? Where did the Sith come from? Shit like that to
Okay.
me could be interesting.
Sure. I've seen talk of like gray Jedis,
Yes.
and I think that would be good too. People
Absolutely.
who are neutral, who believe in both sides, but do what's necessary. I'm okay with that too.
Okay, I could see how that would be appealing.
Yeah. I think that you can't do a Star Wars post this trilogy without mentioning Skywalker, because they're so embedded into the universe.
Yeah.
But I don't think they need to be a main part. I think it can be, okay, Luke Skywalker did this, so we can do that, and then move on from there.
Yeah.
You don't have to continue to mention the name.
Well, wouldn't it have been better if that was the the angle they were going to go moving forward, to just kill them off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They should have done that without having
Let's
this
be
most
clear here.
recent
They did
trilogy.
not do that, correct? I don't know.
Oh, well, no, they did. They're all dead now.
They're dead now.
Oh, okay. Wasn't Rey?
Except Ray, who said, "Oh, I'm gonna be a Skywalker now," even though he was really a Palpatine. But he just took the name. But he took the name out of nowhere. It's so great.
So wait, she is or isn't? I don't understand.
She technically isn't. She just took the name.
You see, it makes a lot of sense when you don't think about it.
She identified with the Skywalkers, so she was trained by Skywalkers.
I
So
don't understand.
It's
So-
like
Exactly.
an
Now you're caught up.
adoptive name. Like she was adopted, but she wasn't because they
this
didn't
is
have
another
that
one of
stuff.
these all-inclusive deals.
No.
It's a shitty writing deal, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking genius. You shit your
Oh,
mouth
it's
over
just pure genius.
George Lucas must be very proud.
there. I'm sure he is rolling.
Well, he's
Mendoza
laughing
over
all
it.
his way to the bank. He got his $4 billion.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to finishing the Clone Wars series.
No,
'cause
and
it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I'm glad you're watching it. I'm glad you're getting into it because it does, and it gets better. It really only gets better.
No, I
the
can't
only
wait.
thing that kind of sucked was that it didn't really end the way it should because they kind of cut it short. But we're remedying that now with the
Right.
final season, so we're good to go.
And in addition to that, I also started playing again. Well, not started. I was able to go back and play for a little bit. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. What
yes.
a great game.
I heard good things about it.
Yeah,
they-
I definitely like I was telling Lou before. Like I'm just waiting for it to drop in price. I'm
Yeah.
going to jump all over it. So.
It is a stunning game. It looks amazing. The world is immersive. The controls leave a little to be desired.
Okay.
A little, because and not because the controls are bad, but the fighting is very in depth. Like
Okay.
and that's where the Dark Souls thing comes into
Yeah,
play.
that's what I
It's
read.
that what we were talking about with the timing and knowing the attacks
Right.
and when they're coming and learning the pattern. And even when you learn the pattern with some enemies, once you get the pattern, they switch the pattern to something else. They do that. It's the old boss fight mentality where you get a full bar and
Yeah.
you work them down to the third,
And then they have a different form?
super power
Yeah,
up.
they
They
switch
do
the-
something
yeah.
else, and then you get them to the last third, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna get you now. And it's intense because you've got a lightsaber. Sometimes they've got a lightsaber. Sometimes it's a creature and it's bigger than you, or it's just faster, and you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So the anticipation gets you. It's intense.
Well, since I have no experience of my own here, I'm going to the Metacritic.
Okay,
All of the console are at about 80%.
that sounds
80,
about right.
81%.
Yeah,
Sounds about right. The
So-
story is good too. Like you want to talk about you're thinking that the most recent trilogy was poorly written. This was well put together. It's got
You are playing it for Xbox, I'm assuming?
Yes. It was well put together.
Mm-hmm.
Some thought went into it to make sure that it ties the right way. I think the story is the draw for me. That's
what I've heard.
I'm continuing to play because it's fun to play, but I want to see how the story progresses with this particular character.
Yeah.
And there are other characters around them that are affected by the story too. So it's a really good game. And Bob said he was waiting till it drops to pick it up, and I think you should, because the only issue that I have is the bugs. Like, I came across a mission where your lightsaber is inoperable, right? So you can't use it. But I got to a point in this level where there was an enemy that came out, and even though my lightsaber is not supposed to work, it engaged, but it was still on my hip.
Okay.
So it looked like a dick in front of my face.
What's the problem?
See the problem.
There's no
Yeah,
problem.
you have a warmer for it.
And it's just there, and it affected the moving. I couldn't open loot crates, and I'm using the term loosely. They're little boxes where you can get items from. I couldn't do any of that, so I ended up having to quit the game and reload from the last checkpoint, and then that fixed it. But I was like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, look, any type of glitch like that to me is inexcusable.
It normally things like that don't bother me. But I think it bothered me a little bit more because, one, it's a Star Wars game that I'm getting into, and I don't want to have to stop what I'm doing to fix something that shouldn't exist in the first place. And two, it was just annoying.
Yeah.
It was really just annoying to me. There was another part where there was just like a little doorway that had like one of the treasure boxes in it.
Okay.
So I walk in, and the minute I walk into the little hallway, my feet are now on the floor, and I can't see my legs. But I take one step back, and then I'm back on solid ground.
Sounds about right to me.
And it doesn't affect the moving.
The Force works in mysterious ways, Lou.
It just didn't look right aesthetically, and I'm like, oh, come on.
Sounds like he was
on.
possibly trying to descend into the Goobliette.
Motherfucker. You didn't even have the music on cue right.
Smooth.
For your own shit.
No,
butter.
I did
Like
have it.
butter.
Just like butter, baby.
But when I pressed it, it didn't work.
But I'm enjoying the game. Minus those small glitches and bugs or whatever. It's,
All right.
I can deal with it for now. I've not lost anything. I've not lost any progression. The game hasn't reset. It's not like when I was playing fucking Fallout Vegas and I got to the last fucking door before finishing the game and I couldn't open it. That fucking annoyed the shit out of me.
How is the story?
Story's great. I don't want to spoil. I know you don't give a shit.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
want to
give a
spoil
shit.
it for Bob, but the story is really good. You know,
Okay.
the way it comes across is it takes place after
Order 66,
after Order
right?
66, which is in the second trilogy, the last movie. It takes place after the last movie. So this is now a universe where all the Jedi are on the run.
I see.
So this guy was a half-trained or almost fully trained Padawan, and now he's on the run because they're looking for his ass.
I ask because I would expect a Star Wars game to have a good story.
It does. It does. It's a really good story. It's got some really good characters. You come across some people who, are going to intertwine with the character that you're controlling, and have stories of their own that impact the main character. It's.
I feel like stories have become sort of like a forgotten art, almost, or a lost art.
I think that you are correct. They are starting to make a resurgence now, but I think for a few years they kind of, with all the multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think what led, as you were mentioning, I think what led to the story going to the wayside was sort of the death of the single player.
Right.
In favor of like all these multiplayer experiences.
I feel like some of the stories we had growing up were just holy shit.
Yeah,
And I haven't had
agree.
a holy shit story in, jeez, I couldn't even remember when. And even some play experiences have been extremely enjoyable. I mean, some of my favorite games in a long time over the past few years. But the stories sucked. In the grand scheme of things. I mean, some of them were okay. They were passable, where it was like, all right, I guess. I guess it could have been worse.
Yeah.
But none of them really had a story as a strong point to the game.
What do you mean?
I'm thinking back, The Witness. We went through these games a few weeks ago. The Witness and Hollow Knight and Dead Cells and some of these experiences that I adored, really. But again, the stories sucked. They were just bottom of the barrel. Very derivative, Save the Princess, Axiom Verge, oh no, there's a sickness, and, it's not like, I think the last story that I played that blew me away, where I was like, wow, holy shit, was Final Fantasy X.
Final Fantasy X was a really good game.
And that was when?
2000?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
2001, something
Yes,
like that.
early 2000s.
Something around there, yeah.
That's too long. And you had sent us a movie in our text conversation this morning about the Legacy of Kain series. And I remember that series in a very positive manner. But going through and watching that 10-minute movie, I realized that I don't really feel that way about the whole series. The first game was one of my favorite games of all time. Just a classic title. But it was all downhill after that. I mean, the Soul Reavers were good. They were better than average, but that's what they were. They were good. They weren't great. They left a lot to be desired. And then Defiance and Blood Omen 2 were just fucking awful.
I don't disagree with that. I didn't like Blood Omen 2 or Defiance either. The the shining showcase
Mm-hmm.
of that series was the original one. And that's almost 30 years old?
Yeah. Yeah,
Right,
I'd have
25,
to go,
something
I'd have to
like
go
that.
back and look, probably closer to 25, yeah.
But I don't know. I've always been drawn to games that have a story. So for me, like, I'm playing Star Wars, has a good story. Last year it was, God of War had a good story. Spider-Man had a good story. It may not necessarily lead anywhere, or maybe God of War will lead to some type of sequel of some kind.
1996, by the way.
Wow. Spider-Man might not lead to anything, but those games had good stories, in my opinion.
Well, the reason I brought up Legacy of Kain is because that was the sell of Legacy of Kain was the story.
Yeah.
It wasn't the graphics, it wasn't the control, it wasn't, it was the story. It was like, holy shit, and there were these twists and
the
these
story
turns.
was good. I still, even though the games weren't good, I thought that the beginning of that story with the first game was fantastic, and I think even though I love the Soul Reaver games, and there are a lot of people who were kind of on the fence with those series, it still continued that story and had a strong story to it. And even going into the two shittier ones, it still went along with the theme, or with the theme that was, or the foundation rather, that was already set on that story about this this clash between Raziel and Kain. And I thought that those games encaptured that conflict. They were just shitty games.
Yeah, but you see, I think that might be my problem, is that I don't agree with you. I thought the first game was all about Kain.
Yeah.
Kain. And then it's like, Raziel, it's who? Who the fuck is this? The first game set
they
the
explained
pace.
it.
Yeah, they
Of course
explained
they
it.
did. Of course, I understand that. But I'm just saying, like, you finish the first game, and then you're waiting for the sequel, and the sequel comes out, and it's a totally new character, and yes, they tied it in. But, we're not going to go down the path again about the half-finished game and breaking it into two. And that left a sour taste in my mouth. Mm-hmm. And I think at the end, I could look back and say I resent the movement away from Kain. I don't know. So Kain kind of went from being the entire, I get it. He was never really a quote-unquote protagonist. He was always kind of an antagonist, even when he was the protagonist.
Yeah.
But they moved away from that. You identified with him, and he was the first game. And then he's a bad guy.
Well, he was always a bad
right,
guy.
But he was your bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, you were the bad guy.
But that didn't change. You knew who he was. You knew what he was capable of. That didn't, for me anyway, that didn't change it. I did for the two Soul Reaver games. I did miss playing as Kain because I thought that even though Raziel was a cool character, the series was always about Kain to me.
Right.
Kain is where it started.
Yeah.
But it was cool to be someone else. And then when you got to play as Kain again, I was excited for it in Blood Omen 2.
But the game sucked.
But the game was just,
and that's what I mean. So
the whole mist thing and everything else, it just didn't.
Right,
it didn't feel
It felt
right.
forced.
It felt better in the original game.
Look,
when
that
you had
original
all this
game
stuff.
is orgasmic. I mean, that game is like groundbreaking in so many ways. And then you went to Soul Reaver, and it's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, fine. But it was just kind of there to me. And then there's like, wait, but we're going to get back to Kain, and then we do. And it's like, I wish you never did. Like, I wish you just left it the way it was. And I almost wish the whole series died after the first game.
Well, I know you do. I know that's how you feel. I mean, I see where you're coming from, and in some ways I could maybe agree, but I disagree.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, I think we all agree, even though I couldn't finish the first game because
the first game was fucking hard.
It was fucking hard.
Holy
but I mean,
shit.
but that first game for that time was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. But
Nintendo hard.
Yeah. And it was awesome. And it was, one of the first games that were like really fucking mature with mature themes and an adult story and all that. And Kain was awesome and he was voice acted awesome. A+ all around. No, you will get no argument from me. The only thing is they went with, because that game it ended, spoilers, you could you could choose the ending. You want the good ending or
spoilers from 25
right,
years
from
ago.
1996, spoilers. You had the choice of the good ending or the bad ending. They went with the bad ending being the canonical ending. So really at that point, like that's where that character is really at that point. Right. So when they went into Soul Reaver, even though, again, it really was a different game that they tied into this series and they kind of merged it together, I thought it worked.
Okay.
And when I played the Soul Reaver for the first time, that intro was so fucking powerful and awesome to me that drew me into that world, and that pulled me through that fucking game. Because there's a lot of block moving and getting lost and slamming your head against the wall in that game. But since the story was so strong, and I bought into that world and that character, and like we got to get Kane, like that was so strong for me that it helped me to get through that game. And I was sold on that game from there, and that's why even though it's, again, we can all agree the first Soul Reaver is really rough. It's a rough game, and nobody's like, this is A+ gameplay or whatever. But because of that intro and everything, that pulled me through, and then I was into the second one. We could all agree Blood Omen 2 is a piece of shit. Yeah. Okay, I played through it, but it was fucking disappointing, and I'm not gonna say it wasn't, because it was.
Defiance.
And Defiance was, but see, it is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a good game because it's not. But I was excited to play it because I was excited for the end of the story, and I kind of thought it was cool that you could kind of switch between the two players. I thought that was. I thought that was a cool twist.
I thought Defiance, Legacy of Kain Defiance was an interesting move. And I thought it was better than Blood Omen 2.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's better than Blood
Omen
Omen 2.
The
that was the worst one. Yeah. But for me, I wanted to see the conclusion to the story because I like the story. And what hurt me was that when I got to the end and I got to the conclusion, I found it incredibly disappointing and unsatisfying. Yes. And sadly, that it left a bad taste in my mouth because that's the final thing of this franchise.
Right.
So,
and it looks like it's going to be.
And it looks like that's going to be it.
They're not going to do anything with it.
They're probably not going to do anything with it. And, me and Lou were talking before that, if they were to try to do another one, it might be like the Dead Sun. It might be too little, too late. But then a part of me, though, last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you talk, is part of me, though, would like somebody else to give it a try because I see shit like the Doom.
Yeah,
they
like
brought Doom back,
Star Wars.
which was awesome. but they resurrected Doom. They resurrected Tomb Raider. Yeah. They resurrected Resident Evil 2.
They resurrected Hitman. And
I'm saying it's possible. It's possible to bring an old IP back and do it good and do it well and make it good for modern audiences. So there is a part of me that would like to see someone give another crack at Legacy.
I have a question. Now, when I beat the game, originally, I chose the bad ending or the evil ending or whatever you want to say. And it dawned on me that I don't know what happens when you choose the good ending.
You kill yourself, and then the world goes back.
But then how does that tie in with the rest of the series?
It doesn't. That's why they chose the bad one as the canonical ending.
Right. So it doesn't even really make sense. It's like they
not now.
Well, right. But my point is that they took kind of like the coolest part of the first game, where you feel like you're in control and you're making a choice that actually affects the end game, and just did away with it because it doesn't matter what you chose. They're gonna go with.
Well, I guess from a storytelling perspective, it was more interesting to have the bad ending. Plus, if they were going to make Kain the adversary in the next game, that makes more sense.
Right, but they could have sort of done it as, and this was what I was thinking, was did you still get, they could have given you the bad ending anyway. If you chose the good ending, like, I'm going to kill myself, and they could have been like, yeah, but he's not going to. Just kidding,
like make the good ending the bad ending as well?
Right.
Well.
And end in the same spot.
I guess you could have.
And then he doesn't, and we're right. And I didn't know if that's actually what happens because I never chose the good ending.
Yeah, that's a good point because it totally separate concept. Did you ever play the Revenge of the Sith video game?
Yes. Yeah.
So
that was cool. I like that.
Revenge of the Sith was the third movie of the second trilogy.
Okay.
Right, where
episodes...
episode 3.
Which is really 6.
Right.
Right, okay.
This is where Anakin becomes Darth Vader. So you know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You've watched the movie at this point already, because I think the game came out after the movie.
No, it actually came out right before the movie.
Was it right before?
Yeah, like right
Did it
before.
spoil it?
It kind of did. It kind of did. It did, and I intentionally didn't play it because I knew it. And even when you pop it in, it shows movie clips. It shows clips of the movie like in the title screen. So they did a shitty job with that.
I didn't play it until after I watched the movie. I just couldn't remember whether it released before or after.
Yeah.
But when I played it, they had the movie ending.
Okay.
And then they had a different ending where he's still Darth Vader, but not in the suit. He beats Obi-Wan or kills Obi-Wan. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool.
I thought that was cool,
and
too.
And you know
I like
that doesn't happen because you
Yeah.
know what happens in the movie. But my point to bringing that up was this is the first installment, Legacy of Kain, going back to Legacy of Kain. This is the first installment of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And they're giving you this two-ending thing, but picking one ending.
Well, that's
so I guess I kind of see what you're saying.
That's kind of my problem is when they gave you that ending, they didn't know where they were going with it.
Right.
So it was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But then after the fact, then knowing, well, now we're going to go this way. We're going to only go in the direction that one of the endings would have taken you, to me is like poor storytelling. Because it's 50% of the people who chose the good ending were just ignoring you and pretending you didn't play. You know, they didn't make any effort to sort of undo that.
But I don't know how they could, like, I feel like you had to choose one. I don't know how you can make both work.
There are ways. I'd really have to go back and refresh myself on the story. We are talking 25 years ago.
I didn't pick the good ending, so...
Yeah, neither did I. Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm sure that
but
there
that's
was a
why
way
I
to
didn't
do it.
That's why I was
not
asking,
sure.
because I didn't know if you picked the good ending if you ended up with the bad anyway.
Right.
That's why I posed that question.
No.
Now, Bob, you wouldn't know because you didn't beat the game.
No, I did not. But I watched them both on YouTube.
Which is more than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that story-driven games now are certainly different, but I like I said, I've always been drawn to games with a story. Like I like
me
to,
too.
Yeah, me
if
too.
If I'm playing a game single player by myself, it's got to have a good story.
Right.
So, like the Batman games have had good stories, but they're not. I mean, they're comic books into a video game.
Right.
It's not its own. I've enjoyed the Gears of War franchise, even though the last one was meh. But they've told a good story. I've only played a few of the Halos, but the Halos have a good story and lore to it. Mass Effect games.
Yeah, well, that's what I was.
great-
Yeah, I was thinking Mass Effect, the Knights of the Old Republic. They
Knights
were a
of the
very
Old
good story.
Republic, yeah.
Like I said on one of the previous episodes, The Last of Us, I thought had a really cool and interesting story. Also, that I'm thinking now, I really liked a couple of the Telltale games because those are totally story driven. Like that's the whole draw. So the first season of The Walking Dead Telltale game was good, and even the first Batman Telltale game was really cool, and they were story. That was it. Really all you had, because it was QuickTime events and fucking story. Right. So you had to have a good story, and I felt like those were good stories. So I agree with you. We definitely hit a spot where it was all about fucking online multiplayer, and single player kind of like died off, and we didn't really get these cool story driven games. But I feel like now, especially with the Star Wars and a few others, it's coming back. So maybe we'll see some good stuff in the future.
I don't want to beat the dead horse. We've talked about this before, not for a while, but I just feel like the goals of the industry have changed. My cousins recently asked me to get into Rocket League, which I had never played before. I was aware of it. So I did. I bought it, and I started playing it, and it's fun. I like it for what it is. I mean, it's a good time. Okay, and that's fair. I mean, I don't love it. It is what it is. But I noticed in playing online that things have just changed. When I used to play online, I mean, you fucking won. You would give your left nut to win that game. It didn't matter what you had to do. Now, it's all about the individual stats and the scoreboard, and people don't even give a fuck about the final score of the game. Mm-hmm. They'll happily lose 7-3 as long as they're the highest rated player on the worst team. And I don't understand that. I don't identify with that train of thought. I'm playing a game and I'm about to score a goal and I'm dribbling the ball down the field, however you want to say it, and I'm about to put it in, and I get fucking slammed out of the way by my own teammate just so he can.
You're welcome.
Just so he can get the
Fucking
goal,
noob.
right?
Fucking noobs.
And then we end up losing. We end up not getting any goals and losing the game. And it's like, what the fuck? Like,
You're ruining my stats. Get out of the way. I got trophies to get here, bitches.
And it dawned on me that it's just a different group of people that I'm playing with. You know, with different goals and different wants and different needs and different thoughts. And I don't belong. I don't belong there anymore. You know, and it's still fun, but not nearly what it used to be. And maybe that's partly me too. But I find it really hard to get invested in something where my own teammates are working against me.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
It's not even about fucked up. It's just stupid.
Well, that too.
You know, it's like, why are we playing this game if we're not playing to win?
Right.
Do you really get that big a kick? First of all, there's only 3 people on a team. So getting the highest score on one team really only means you're the best of 3.
Yeah.
And if you're losing the game, you're no higher than 4th, right? Or, I'm sorry, 3rd. Because the 3 winners get the top 3, right? Wouldn't you rather be the worst player on the winning team than the best player on the losing team?
Well, what are you? This is Rocket League where you're doing like soccer or whatever, right? I mean, whenever you play any sport, right? Basketball, baseball is one team versus another team, and one team is going to win and one team is going to lose. And even the losing team has people who stand out.
Yeah.
You can have a shitty team with some good players, and they're going to stand out.
Sure.
So that could be what they're looking to achieve. Maybe they're not the best player, but they just want to appear to be the best player even though they lost.
Well, that's the question I posed, though. Wouldn't you rather be the worst player or the worst, I'm using air quotes here, the worst rated player on the winning team? Wouldn't you make that sacrifice rather than being the best player of the losing team?
I guess it's personal.
I would and I have.
Right, of course.
Because I've played some shooters where, you know, I got shot in the head multiple times, taking 2 steps. But you know what? If my team won, I was like, all right, guys, thumbs up.
I think it's subjective, maybe objective. Maybe it's more person-driven.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so.
I would prefer not to be the worst person on a winning team because then I don't feel like I'm contributing.
What if you run out? What if you sacrifice yourself so your teammate could deliver the goods, whatever,
Oh,
you know,
well,
whatever
of course
the
you're
case.
going to sacrifice yourself because you're not doing anything, you fucking loser. That's how I feel.
Well, you've
but
never
that's
done that,
me.
though? Like, you wouldn't be a human shield if it meant winning?
I don't know if I would.
That's bizarre to me.
I don't know.
That is absolutely bizarre to
I
me.
would.
Of course I would.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Please, let me be the human shield. It means we're going to win, and that's all I have to do is die? Yes, please. Right? I feel like that's just common.
I guess I can't see an example where I could plan for that. I guess.
Well, don't
if
you-
I had to, like, if I saw like a teammate was going to get down by someone and I could jump in front of the bullet and we would win, so just to prevent them from winning, yes. But if I do that, they're getting the kill anyway because they're killing me. So.
Right, but I mean, I'll use Fortnite as an example. I'm awful at this game. But I play with my cousins. They're pretty good. Not great, but they're far better than I am. I mean, in a different league. So I would routinely, you know, distract the other team or run out and let them go after me just to reveal their location so my cousins could win the game for us. Happily.
Yeah.
In fact, I also was the backpack. You know, like they would drop weapons and I would just pick them up. I don't even know how to fucking use these weapons. But I would just carry them until they wanted them. I mean, happily. I suck. I'm going to die anyway. Shouldn't I die for a cause rather than just...
It's person specific. If you're looking at it that way, I can understand what you're saying. When I'm approaching a team-based tactical whatever, I'm like, okay, let's fucking do this.
Right.
I don't want to carry. I don't want to, you know, be the fucking bait. I want to fucking blow some shit up and fuck some people up. Like that's what I'm thinking.
But I feel as being an unskilled player, that's the most I can bring to my team. That's the most good I can do.
I'm going into a new game unskilled, and I know that I'm unskilled, but my goal is to become skilled.
Right.
That's what I'm aiming to be. I'm aiming to be that.
Well, me too, but
No,
I don't. No, but I don't play enough. I know I'm not going to be on their level.
But that's what I'm saying. Well, listen, my level is not much higher than yours, so don't. No,
but I know I'm never going to.
You have no desire,
right?
Because you don't want to play that. If I'm playing it, I like, with I'm trying to think of a game, Rainbow Six.
Okay,
right. We don't do a lot of online, like, competitive PvP with Rainbow Six, but we do the terrorist hunt.
What's that?
That's, it could be up to 5 players, and you're on a map, and you've got terrorists to take down, but it's NPCs.
Oh, I see. So you're not playing against other people.
Right. You're playing against the
You're just diddling one another.
In the closet.
Or in a building.
Daddy diddled me, episode 17. I get it.
So I don't. That's one of those things where I don't look at the the body count. We always make fun of each other. Oh, you stole my kill,
right.
But it doesn't matter because the goal is to get all the damn terrorists.
I see.
So in that aspect, yes, if I can do something to distract the terrorists so that the rest of the team can get the guys, yes, we're going to get the win.
See, that's not multiplayer to me. That's co-op.
Right, and exactly, and I think that's the difference from a multiplayer standpoint. If there's a one kill difference and the other team needs to get a kill, I'm not trying to take a bullet for anybody because they're going to kill me, and then we're going to lose that point.
Right.
So I think that's what the difference is for me.
Well, I think I see where you're coming from, Derek, and I think I agree with you because I remember back in the early 2000s, there was an online game called EverQuest Adventures.
God.
And we were a party of merry men in the woods fighting monsters. And one person was a warrior and one person was a magician.
We all had pantaloons.
We all had frilly pantaloons that were full of feces
and underoos
and dick warmers that look like Yoda. I'm wearing one now. But somebody had to be like the healer.
Right.
And since I was like, all right, somebody needs to be here. I'll be the healer, plus I'm not that good anyway. So, and that was my job. I just sat there and I healed everybody so that we could kill what we wanted to kill until I fell asleep and everybody died. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And then I was like, maybe online games isn't for me.
And then Phil logged on and told you how you should have played your
character. You gotta wait for the cooldown time. And while you're using that spell, you should be dual wielding this spell. This is exact quote, by the way. So
you were playing tilted, Bob.
Totally tilted. You're tilted, noob. So yeah, no, but I see what you're saying though. I would agree with you. I would, if that's what it took to, so then that's what I would do. And it is what it is.
All right. Well, to me, it's just foreign. Playing on the same team with people who don't all have a common goal is foreign to me. Yeah,
I've never played with the Couchman and not have a fucking plan. We have a plan.
Right. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I guess, like you said, to each their own.
Yeah.
But for me, and I unfortunately haven't been able to get together with my cousins yet for this game. In fact, they texted me on my way over here and wanted to play. But, we'll get there. And I'm sure I'll enjoy the game a whole lot more when I'm playing with people that have a common goal, regardless of skill level.
Sure.
So...
Well, that was a cool story, but you know what I have to tell you? This episode of All Up in Your Geek is brought to you by...
Come on, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Where's the music?
The High-Heeled Gamer. The Oprah of the nerd world. You can catch her on our website at thehighheeledgamer.com. You're dancing. Or on the Nacho Friends podcast every Wednesday live or Thursday show. And we're going to let the music play out and say thehighheeledgamer.com. Boom. See, look at that.
Name that game?
Name that game, baby.
Name that game.
Goonies 2.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that either.
For what?
Name that game.
We want to play Name That Game, but Derek isn't ready to go.
I'm ready.
Okay.
You should have let him keep going.
Got to save something for the end.
Right.
Released in 1994, I was a top 5 selling game for my entire console library and was noted for my real-time polygonal graphics.
Wait a minute, what? Read that again.
Polygonal?
Please read it again.
Released in 1994, I was a top 5 selling game for my entire console library.
For my entire console?
For the entire console library, it was a top 5 selling game.
Okay.
All right.
And was noted for my real-time polygonal graphics. 1994.
94. All right.
I don't expect you to get it based on that.
Well, good, because I'm
Obviously.
not.
Star Fox?
Eh.
Okay.
Are you saying or is it?
No, it's an eh.
All right.
Wait till we get to the end.
Okay.
Later bundled with my sequel for the PS2 in Japan and Europe only.
Interesting.
Now I'm going to ask you if you come up with the right answer based on the third and final clue to keep it to yourself until after
The music?
I play the theme.
Jesus Christ.
Bundled with the
Bundled.
sequel.
And there is no theme.
With the PS2?
The PS2.
Later bundled
The
with
sequel?
the PS2. The PS2 was not out in 1994.
No, I understand that.
Was it
But
polygonal graphics?
hold those thoughts.
All right.
Let me get through the final clue and the theme.
All right, okay.
And then you can bombard me. I will
Finish on the table?
I will taste your rainbow.
Okay.
Splurge.
I was a light gun shooter ported over from the arcade. Now, Bob, hold that thought.
Okay.
There is no theme, so I'm going to have to go with the game music, not the...
I think I got it.
And here it is.
Oh shit! Oh, I feel so stupid.
Do you know it, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's let the theme play for a little bit. Music, whatever you want to call it.
Oh
And
wow!
then let's let Lou take a stab at it first.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Are
I feel
we there? Are we there? We're there.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel dumb because although his clues were very vague.
Well, they were purposely. Because
Yeah.
if I gave, you know, if I...
No, you can take it.
Okay.
Virtual Cop
Indeed, Bob.
for the Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn.
Is that why you played it?
Wow,
'Cause
but
it was
they
Sega
put
Saturn?
that with the PS2.
With the sequel
Yes.
for the PS2 in Japan and Europe.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. They did. It was Virtual Cop 2 was in PAL regions for the. Wow.
I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
that's a
I
deep
didn't know
cut.
that.
So, Bob, you will level up. And now you can sing your victory music if you'd like.
Nah, the moment's passed.
Oh man, and with that we have reached the end of this level of All Up in Your Geek. Remember to keep those emails coming because we didn't have any damn emails. allupinyourgeek@gmail.com, or just leave us a voicemail. And we didn't play the fucking one, I forgot, but we'll get to it.
One job. You just got one job.
I don't see how that's my job, but anyway.
Well, I don't have access to it.
Oh well, yeah, good. Fine. Fuck you guys.
Your job. One job. That's all.
I said that you leave us that voicemail on Anchor FM. And follow us on all forms of social media at All Up in Your Geek. And until next time, guys, geek out.
Excellent.
Boo!